Good morning, guys. I hope everybody's had a great week. For today's Bible story, I'm going to share a cool little demonstration that some of you may have seen before. So there was this man who worked really hard, and he was really rich. He worked hard and made a ton of money, and so he could buy anything he wanted. So he bought this boat, a big old boat, and he sailed all over the world in his boat. He still felt kind of empty inside, but he worked hard for that money, so he was going to spend that money all on himself. So then he went and he bought a mountain, a big mountain, and built this huge house on top of it, because he was like, I'll work hard for this money. It's my money. I'm going to spend it on myself. But he still felt kind of empty inside. And so then he decided he would buy himself an airplane, and he'd fly his jet all over the world, anywhere he wanted to go. He worked hard for that money. He could spend it on himself. But he still felt kind of empty inside. He went all over the world. And one day he was traveling, and he went past this tiny little church. And there were people all over the place outside. And they were laughing and having a really great time. And he was like, what in the world? These people look poor. They don't look like they have anything, and they're having so much fun. So he stopped, and he was like, I work really hard and I make millions of dollars, and I don't ever have as much fun as it looks like you're having. And one of the people said, hey, wait, you said you have millions of dollars? Our youth group is getting ready to go down to New Orleans to help flood victims. Maybe you could help them go on that trip with some money. And he said, maybe I could. And suddenly he started feeling warm and fuzzy inside. And then somebody else said, hey sir, we're building a ramp to help this sweet lady get inside of her house because she broke her hip and now she has to be in a wheelchair. Maybe you could help her pay for the ramp because it's really expensive and she doesn't have a lot of money. And he said, maybe I could. And he started feeling really warm and fuzzy inside. And they said, you know, if you give back to God a part of all that he's blessed you with, you will start to feel really full inside. So he started taking and giving to them, and all of a sudden he felt so fulfilled inside. And that's what happens when you give to God and you give your life to God and you live as Jesus wants you to live. Tell me something good. This next video clip was sent to me by Karen Wallace. It is an amazing reminder for all of us. It is unsolicited by any committee or leaders of the church. It's just on her heart, and a great message. Enjoy. Thank you, Karen.
Hi, I'm Karen. I am out of my comfort zone making this video, but I felt an enormous calling to make this video. When I was little, my father used to drop me off at Sunday school and dig through his pocket and give me coins to put in the collection plate. When I sat in the back of the church, I would sit with my grandmother and her sister. They always invited me. They would go through their purses when the collection plate was coming along and give me money to put in the collection plate. They put their envelopes in every week. When I was a teenager, it was pretty easy to give because I didn't have a lot of expenses when I made money. I just saved my money and did fun things like the movie, and it didn't feel hard to give to the church because I didn't have a lot of expenses. When I married Jeff and we started having expenses, I wrote checks, and I usually write about a check a month, and we looked at the annual budget on how much we give. I did that until March 2020. And then I started writing checks and mailing them to Center Church in an envelope. Around August, I started to get more modern, and I used the computer with my bank account, and I would have my bank account send the check to church. My daughter little Sarah is even more modern, and she just has the money withdrawn on a monthly basis from her bank account. The reason why I'm making this video is to remind you to please give your tithes and offerings. Center Church, although we are not meeting as in the building, most of us, it still has expenses. It's still paying for the building. It's still doing the missions and outreach, which is more important than ever. And there's a lot of other expenses. Now we're sure to pay for a lot of technology. So the point of this video is to please keep giving your tithes and offering to Center Church.
Tell me something good.
Caleb Dean took this beautiful turkey to the state fair. Though the fair was closed, the children's livestock show was still open. Awesome. Dottie McCall sent these beautiful sights of fall. God really blesses us with beauty this season.
Tell me something good.
Centerfield Youth having a great time. Keep the good news coming, guys.